take on the Goodison Park atmosphere then, Paul? There's been a lot of tweets, a lot of discussion following the Villa game, saying maybe it wasn't up to scratch, considering it was a big game, we had a new manager. Were you disappointed? What have we got to do to improve it? Because I know the fans, certainly, a couple of the fan groups, the 1878, they go out their way, the effort that they do to get the flags on the terraces, on the stands and stuff like that. So it's not for the one to try and.
No whatsoever. I'll speak as a season ticket holder rather than a journalist, because like a lot of people listening or watching this podcast and are supporters too, we got there in a little bit earlier on Wednesday than we usually do, because we're the kind of type of family who'll turn up 10 minutes before kick-off, got to be honest. And again, the displays are fantastic. The supporters groups cannot be doing any more than what they're doing. I've got to be honest, I don't think the atmosphere at Goodison's been amazing for a long time now. I was a season ticket holder till 2003, 2004. Then I got a job, and then working on Saturday covering football clubs, and then I think I came back in 2016 or 17 after kind of my club reporting days were over, and I noticed the difference from then. I had a massive difference in the time of being away. I'd come back sporadically, but I noticed a massive difference. But I don't think it's just Everton, to be honest. I think a lot of Premier League games, I know I've got Liverpool supporting friends, I've got other teams, friends who support clubs. I think the atmosphere's changed over the years. But a big thing is at the moment for Everton, like as I said earlier, I've gone 5 games without seeing Everton goal at Goodison Park. Like a lot of people be in that position too. It's hard. It's really hard. Like not to get yourself up for it, but it's been tough being an Evertonian. Like, I would never criticise any Evertonians about the atmosphere, because I'm not being funny, over the last few years, if it wasn't for Evertonians, I don't think the club would still be in the Premier League. They've helped get the team over the line over so many years. Like, probably just needs like an early goal or something, doesn't it? Just needs I think the spark needs to come from the team to get that atmosphere lifted. And maybe I hope it doesn't have to get lifted like kind of artificially, like we've had to do in the last few seasons with like team bus arrivals and things later on, where we've ever had to come together and said, like, listen, there's no option now. I didn't think it was bad the other night. I think it was supportive. I think it got a bit more of the game on, but wasn't flat. Maybe we're being a bit harsh saying flat, but it wasn't. It's hard. It wasn't a bear piss, was it?
I think Paul's right though. I think the atmosphere in the stands is massively determined by what happens on the pitch. Yeah. And I think what we've seen this season and what we've seen in recent seasons has been nowhere near good enough, has it? And I actually just talked to someone recently, more obviously under the Sean Dyche kind of towards the end, and I said it's boring and predictable watching Everton, because you know what's going to happen. But the same problems rear their head on almost bi-weekly basis, don't they? And Forest, for instance, the Forest game. I mean, I went to the pub after I got, and I was talking to a couple of people there, and they were saying, well, once we went 1-0 down, you knew that was it, because everyone's in that mindset, aren't they? Because of what they're seeing, and that plays a big part, don't they? Because I'm sure Paul, you sit there with your dad and your son and whatnot. And I'm sure when Forest did score, that probably went to each other. Long way back now, isn't it? because you naturally know, don't you? You naturally know.
I had a mate who wanted to leave straight away. They just said, what's the point? And I said, no, come on, we'll stay. Wish I'd just left.
Yeah, and I think that is why, the atmosphere perhaps isn't what people want it to be, but I think it's on the players, it's on the managers to give the fans something to shout about and get behind, and I don't think we've had enough of that in recent years. And it's not, like I say, it's not for the one. People have tried, people continue to try, and people do the 1878s do some unbelievable things, and like Paul says, if it probably wasn't for them and other fan groups and supporters getting together in the last 2 years and saying, actually, you know what, we need to come together as one.
Probably be worse.
We do everything. Yeah. We'll be playing the Championship. That season when Frank Lampard kept Everton up, but the season when Frank Lampard when Everton stayed up, the fans there dragged the team over the line. I don't care what anyone says. They got behind the players. They've done it the year after. So you've got to give people something to shout about, and I just don't think we don't give people enough to shout about. And as I say, it's just boring and predictable.
You're tight. Obviously, a lot of people are tired from relegation battles. But I think it's just the football this season is, as we said we said at the start, since the last time I came on, it was boring, wasn't it? I didn't think Wednesday was boring. I wouldn't say that.
No,
but the continuation.
But it's like 0-0 again or 1-0, and like it does creep into your mind. It's like, well, that's that then. You know, when Watkins scored, I thought I did create loads of chances, but I thought we responded pretty well to the second. I thought if anyone was going to score a goal again in the second half, it was going to be us. But it takes time to change. I thought that showed a little bit
towards the end, didn't it, as well? Because I think there was a little bit more atmosphere towards the end. Because people were pushing for the equaliser. But whereas like the Forest game, for instance,
it was gone.
Once it went 2-0, you know, if people would have got off then. I mean, with the greatest respect, you know, we're journalists. I actually think as that game we could have all just like filed our match report 10 minutes later because and not lost 20 minutes because you knew nothing was going to, you know. And when you look back, you know, I think it was at the 88th minute against Forest. Calvert-Lewin had a tame header, didn't he? Which
first shot on target.
Sells just kind of stood there and called, like, you know, without having to move a muscle, essentially. And that was about as good as it got. And I think that's where we now see that the impact of that because people are just so used to it, and I think people are struggling to get behind what they say. And like I say, you hope on Sunday that, I mean, maybe clutching at straws here, but you hope on Sunday that, you know, first 5 minutes we get a goal, or I know it sounds very old school, someone goes through someone and gets the crowds up and everyone starts getting, you know, you always go back, don't we, to that, you know, it's these always say to tackle that turn of the season, but we all remember when Neville just went through Ronaldo, don't we, that time when we were getting played off the park by United, and we were 1-0 down, and it was about half an hour in, and everyone was, and I think we struggled to start that season anyway. And then Neville went through Ronaldo and there was a bit of a kick-off and everyone got off the seat. And then we ended up equalising that day. Should have won it at the end, I think someone hit the post. And you think, and that we didn't really look back after then. We obviously got the FA Cup final that season, done really well. You just, you know, if we don't, I know that sounds really old school and like Dogs Awards days, but you just give people something to go up off the seat and shout about and get, you know.
I think, you know, I think a big part of it as well, I was just thinking about like Tottenham and players and stuff like that. And I noticed Richarlison's back. I think we lack a hero. Like, I really do. Obviously, we love Seamus. Jordan Pickford's an amazing goalkeeper. You know, everyone really likes Njai. You know, I just think we lack a hero. Like Richarlison's coming back on Sunday, and you'll really see it. I don't think we've got like a talisman or someone. You know, like you talk about the Phil Neville tackle. Just don't. But that might be times have changed as well. Maybe those players aren't.
Oh, you spot on.
You know,
well, you are right about the hero though, because you know I still know. Like I grew up with Duncan Ferguson was a bit of the hero, or you know, I'm fortunate to see Wayne Rooney when he first come through. But for a lot of kids in recent years, and I was talking to someone about this a while ago, and he was saying about like his lads and Everton fan and stuff, and he said like, you know, the fact that Richarlison played for Brazil, he said like, you know, we lads had 3 Brazil kits with Richarlison on the back, and thought it was incredible. We don't have that anymore. You know, we've got England's goalkeeper, but he's a goalkeeper. You know, you know, and unless your son is a goalkeeper, there's probably very little kind of glamour around being a goalkeeper, isn't he? You know, Braithwaite probably is the next big superstar we've got, but isn't quite at that level. We don't have that, like...
He's not going to score you loads.
We don't have a poster boy, do we? You know, like, and like I say, Richarlison very much was that, like... He's not just an Everton hero. This lad plays for Brazil, and everyone's like, you know, it must be good if he plays for Brazil. And you used to walk around towns and you see kids with Richarlison Brazil kits on because it felt like our thing to get behind. Of like, we've got a Brazilian international playing for us. Paul's right, but the minute we don't have that role.
He's the one I'd take back. If we could get him back.
He might have had injury problems, we'll draw a line and bring him back.
Gamble on him.
Absolutely. Your hero point is absolutely spot on. Who's going to step up this year? Because what I go as far as to say, and loads of people are probably going to jump on me and you might disagree, even Sean Dyche's first season when he first came in, the hero for me, the talisman, was Decore. He was scoring the goals. He was making things.
But he was playing with a point to prove that, wasn't he, as well?
No, exactly.
Lampard,
because of the way Lampard treats them.
It all like combines it into one. We know Decore's not the same player that he once was. He probably should come out of the team. But who's going to step up? Let's face it. I mean, my take is very similar to yours on it. We are a product of our environment.
Yeah.
Certainly over the last, say, 6 games, certainly over the last 2, 3, 4 years, if you haven't scored a goal in 6 games, how can you get excited? You've already touched upon it, but it's a moment in a game, unless it's an absolutely huge game. For instance, it's a derby, it's a European game against a Fiorentina, then the atmosphere probably isn't going to be absolutely massive. And I'd go as far as to say that's the same for every club in the Premier League. It's something that happens in a game. It's a goal. It's a bad refereeing decision. It's a player going through another opposition player.
The Royal Blue Podcast from the Liverpool Echo.